Hey, I'm Lauren of Wholly Beautiful, and this is probably my favorite Full Glam Friday episode. Starting off with some Lanolips Banana to prep my lips and keep them moisturized, and applying some Bare Minerals, and moving right into Dior Matte Foundation. This is shade 2N, and I'm buffing it all over my face, paying special attention to the eye area and the nose, and make sure to blend down the neck. Next, I'm going in with the Fitglow Concealer in shade 2.5, concentrating on my under eyes and on little blemishes. And then I'm just going to gently buff all of these out to brighten up some of these dark sunken in areas. I also like to use my fingers to pat things in sometimes to make it lay a little more smooth. But you can really see that brings out all those shadows. Next, I'm going to prime my eyelids with the Milani Eye Primer. If you saw my most recent video, you'll know I really love this for preventing mascara smudges. And then I set it with the Covergirl Clean Matte Powder. This is in the shade Buff Beige. And then I'm just going to lightly powder the rest of my face to really mattify everything. I tend to get pretty oily, so this is a good step. Now I'm going to warm up the face a little bit by using the Vapour Bronzer. This is in the shade Eclipse, and I'm just gonna lightly touch the whole face with it. I can get a little sallow in the colder months. And I'm gonna pull that down on my neck a little bit and my jawline. And the collarbones. Now I'm gonna go in with the shade Cabo from Clove and Hallow. This is a little bit cooler and it makes a really, really nice contour shade. I don't go hard with my contour, but I do want a little bit more of a sculpted look today. And I'm also going to contour my nose, and what you'll see is I do the very tip of it to shorten it a little bit. And because my nose is slightly bumpy, I tend to go a little bit stronger on one side, and then I kind of skip one area on the other where there's already a little bit of a hollow, just to create that balance. And then buff like my life depends on it. And then you'll notice too, in just a second, I'm actually going to come back in with concealer on that part that's a little more hollowed out, just to pop it back out and bring balance, and then powder again. Next, I'm going to go in with some Nars Orgasm blush and just tap that onto the apples of my cheeks. I don't want to go too rosy with this, but I do want to add a little bit of a color. And now I'm going to pop on Pure from Aetherbeauty. This is like the really silvery diamond highlighter, and I love this shade. It's so pretty. Really, really nice smooth formulas too. Now I'm going in with the shade Amber from the Crystal Grid palette, and I'm going to use this shade as a transition shade of sorts. It's a really pretty golden amber color, and I'm putting that just above where my crease is, almost up to my brow bone. Now I'm going in with the Lovinah Eye Magic palette with the most vivid green shade, and I'm blending that out through my crease with an angled brush. And I'm trying to make it a little bit soft so that I won't have to blend too hardcore a little bit later. But using a brush with these, it's a lot softer. And as you'll see, I'm going to take my finger now and swipe that across the lid, which really, really amps up that color a ton. These are very, very creamy shadows, even though they're actually powder. But I'm actually pulling that up into that crease area that's already a little bit softer because of the brush. Next, I'm going in with the shade Diamond, which is also from the Crystal Grid palette. And I'm just sculpting up underneath my brow bone to make that pop, and then also on the inner eye corners. Now dipping back into the Lovinah palette, I'm going into that green shade and putting it right on my lash line using a very, very small brush, but I'm concentrating quite a bit of color in there. And once I have it built up pretty intense along the lash line, I'm going to take a softer, fluffy brush and really buff that out. It gives it a very smoky look. I always like to step back too and look at it. Oh yeah, and I was totally jamming out. Anyway, So now I'm blending that more vivid green into the smoky green and blending that up into amber. And once I have that balanced out on both eyes, I'm going to take another fluffy blending brush and blend amber into diamond. Make it very, very soft and smoky with these green and gold tones. Now I'm going in on my waterline with deep blue from NYX, and I am just lining the inner rim of my eye. I think this looks so cool with the green. Now I'm going to use the Glossier Pro Tip Liquid Liner and create a thin, sharp black line on my upper eyelid. Matching up wings is always a fun challenge. And because this look is so intense, I actually am filling my brows a little bit heavier than I normally do. So I'm starting with the Fenty pencil in medium brown. And then I'm going to go over top of this with the Wow Brow from e.l.f. in dark brown. Now I'm curling my lashes and I'm going to apply a very, very thin coat of the Clove and Hallow Flexlash because I'm going to put on false lashes. And I'm also going to make my bottom lashes kind of spiky by holding my brush vertically and sticking them together. Now, these lashes, I'll be honest, I like how they look. I was not crazy about how these felt on my eye though. And you'll see here, I'm actually cutting them down to fit my eye better. These are the Ardell Professional 3D Faux Mink multidimensionals, and they're beautiful, but the band is not as flexible as I like. So I had to really work to get those inner corners to stick, even though I bent it a whole bunch before to fit my eye better. So as you'll see, here I am sticking it on, but it already popped up on that corner. So I'm going back behind the lash and putting on lash glue and using tweezers to press that in. But even with doing this, I really struggled this first time getting this lash to lay how I wanted it to. So I ended up taking it off and reapplying it. Because it just wouldn't stay down. Boo. Here we go again, take two. This time I actually got it though. And you'll notice what I do is once I get those corners on, I usually take 2 to 3 fingers and really press it into the base of my lashes. And I start from the middle, and then I usually will go in and get that corner to lay flush on top of my lashes. And then I really, really press that corner in on the inside and the outside to get it to stick better. Now I'm adding a little bit of extra mascara on the inside lashes because they were a little bald, and now I'm blending it in with my lashes. Take off that lip balm because we are going to line the lips. I'm using Mocha from Ulta, and I've really started focusing darker colors on the outer edges of my lips, slightly overlining, but leaving the center of my top and bottom lip bare because I go in with a second color that's lighter to add that dimension. And so here I'm using NYX Vanilla Sky, and you'll see I drag this over top of that darker liner just a little bit. And again, slightly overlining, and almost when I do the darker liner, I almost pinch it in closer on those outer corners to make my mouth look more round than wide. And lately this just has really been working for me, and it doesn't look too overdone. Now, thanks to Snitchery, I love your tutorials. So I'm going to take a little bit of concealer and kind of pinch in those outer corners. The first time I did this, it felt totally whack, but it actually looks really cute. And once you get comfortable with it, it makes such a big difference in making your lips pop. So now I'm going to powder that down too so it stays put. And I'm putting just a little bit of a contour underneath my lip. Nothing crazy, but just enhancing that natural shadow that already happens. And I like doing a tiny bit above my Cupid's bow because it kind of makes the top of your lips kind of pop up. This is Gleam from Fitglow Beauty, the lip serum, and I am pressing this into the lip liners just to create a more cohesive look. But I love how this look turned out. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next Full Glam Friday. Bye.